All right. Greetings, everybody. I'm your host, Rich Frawley. Appreciate you joining me today as we look at investigating child exploitation cases with the ADF tools. I hope everybody and their families are healthy and doing well. Tough times here, but for those of you working from home for the first time, it can be a challenge, at first, but after a few adjustments, you'll be good to go. So if this is something new to you, working from home, the remote challenge, just go check out 2 of the blog posts we have on tips and pitfalls of remote working. Maybe that'll give you a little hand. They're located on adf.com. So I've been with ADF for 4 years, and that's after a 22-year career in law enforcement. During my career, I was a one-man shop. I conducted investigations as well as forensic examinations. I was part of the ICAC task force up in Connecticut. We were affiliate up there. We worked with them. We were affiliated with the Crimes Against Children Task Force at the FBI. We worked with DOJ, United States Postal Inspection Service. So had a lot of experience working up there in Connecticut. But this pushed me in the direction of triage early in my career because I was a one-man shop. We needed to keep our backlog to a minimum and make decisions up front and on scene. So ADF has been committed to the triage market for many years, and I'm pleased to be able to show you how ADF can not only expedite your on-scene time, but gather more information to keep your case going, save time, money by streamlining the entire process. So investigating child exploitation cases is a breeze with our tools, and today we're going to cover a typical investigation, a cyber tip. However, I'm going to show you several workflows you can use on scene with your collection key to achieve accurate results with different methods to fit your specific workflow. We're not one-dimensional in our methods, and we provide you the ability to choose. I'm going to show you adding hashes, the Project Vic, the CADE, but also images you may have collected through a cyber tip or through some other devices. Linking artifacts, very important. So you got the artifacts on the computer and you want to link, maybe your contraband or some other file you found. We'll show you how we link that together behind the scenes. Help you make those decisions upfront and fast. Peer-to-peer communications, all that linked together. I'm going to show you how to prepare your collection key to get the results you want on scene, and not what somebody else determines is enough for you. Little housekeeping here. All participants will receive a link to the recording and access to help and search profile learning videos. For those familiar with our tool, just give me a few minutes to introduce ADF to our newcomers. I know a lot of you came in to see the tool. One of you may have come in to listen to my voice. Thanks, Mom. You can go now. Let somebody else into the room. Thank you very much. I'll go through this real quick. We'll get right into the tool. As a company, ADF has been around for over 15 years, and our technological foundation is rooted in forensic triage. Our early years were spent creating software specifically for image identification and analysis for child exploitation. And government agencies and law enforcement were the main drivers who were asking for the technology. Our immediate value as a triage tool was in providing immediate on-scene intelligence and capture of potential evidentiary information, and it's since morphed in solutions that are easier to use for investigators and help reduce that backlog. What happens over the years is an evolution of our technology to not merely include support for hundreds of file types and artifacts, but a better way to link all that information quicker than any other solution on the market. Theme has remained consistent in our mission statement. We help investigators and examiners to get to the relevant information faster. So today's webinar is going to showcase some of the new features and demonstrate the timely results of that. ADF software products are designed to help you collect, analyze, and report on everything you need to put your case together. Our software identifies evidence, it tags, correlates it for you so you can make rapid decisions. Could be a decision to make an arrest on scene, or in a triage-based approach, it could be just to take the evidence for further analysis. Our goal is to help you further your investigation with speed and accuracy. Here we work closely with our customers to solicit their feedback and understand specific use cases. We seek to design products to help you get your job done faster and more effectively. We designed our user interface based on Microsoft Fluent Framework, which combines the easy use with the ability to be highly configurable. Automated process flow, identify and correlate files, scale through large terabytes of data, same-day court reports. So why is this important? Well, investigators are handling search warrants or knock and talks at the same time and need the latitude to investigate and make decisions on scene. By having this single user experience, an experienced examiner could take control of what is run on scene and give the investigators the confidence with on-scene decisions. Doesn't matter how you deploy any of the ADF tools, whether it's a boot, you're booting to the computer, you're doing a live scan, you're doing a desktop scan on your forensic machine, you're using our standalone portable viewer. The interface is the same and there's no learning curve. And if you already have used or seen Digital Evidence Investigator, then you're going to recognize Triage Investigator, and you and your investigators can be on the same page. We were one of the first software companies to combine files, artifacts, and user activities into a single timeline view. All this information is combined into a comprehensive timeline, which can be customized with many powerful filters. We give you time-based configurability, meaning we can customize our profiles to give you a quick general profile, low-hanging fruit, early case assessment, or an intermediate scan that will gather artifacts and files that will target exactly what you're looking for and allow you to continue with your investigation as soon as the scan's complete. Or a thorough scan that's going to pull everything into a comprehensive analysis of the data retrieved. We give you default or pre-configured search profiles to start with and allow you to add or create your own profiles from scratch. We're going to go over that today. You're going to see it firsthand. We offer a one-on-one session to get you started with the tools and understanding the customization process. It's really important when you get it that you know that right out of the gate before you get the formalized training. So that's aside from any other training. And also, if you need help, like I said, one-on-one, phone calls, emails, we're there to help you with your customized profiles. Once you have a scan done, a profile created, a scan done, you can share what you've collected in a standalone viewer. The portable viewer could be put onto a thumb drive, shared with a prosecutor, with an investigator. They can go through it, tag, sort, filter, do everything that you can do. It's the full analysis portion of our tool placed onto that device that can be shared with investigators or prosecutors. Again, fully functional, tag, sort, filter, report, no license required. So let me start with a little background on Triage and how an on-scene investigation can unfold using Digital Evidence Investigator, which we're going to see here today. And I've been saying this for years now, and it still stands true. Digital forensics is ever evolving. It's important. Your tool should be evolving as well, allowing you to get better as time marches on. There's a need to get evidence faster. There's a lot of data and a lot of cases being juggled at the same time. Nobody wants to spend more time than necessary on scene, but you also don't want to walk away feeling like you didn't get the results you wanted right then. You now have to wait for the results for weeks or months. And that's different everywhere you go. We need to be able to make decisions on scene, whether it's to seize or arrest. On scene is the best place to begin with a smarter workflow. Now you can make your arrest, continue with preservation orders, arrest warrants, search warrants, and referrals. Everybody's got a different workflow. I've worked with a lot of you guys across the country, a lot of people up here in Connecticut. You know, sometimes it's go in and just show me one picture, show me one keyword, and we're done. We can do that, right? But we're not a one-trick pony. We can add to that. We can have you walking out of there with the person in handcuffs and with enough data to keep this investigation going. That's what this is about, and that's where we turn into the on-scene triage investigation and where this demo kind of comes in. We can do the low-hanging fruit. What do you want on scene? Do you just want red light, green light? Yeah, I have a hit. No, I don't have a hit. If you spend the time doing this, are you still seizing it? Or do we add not only crime-specific keywords, but case-specific keywords, right? Hashes and artifact collection. Reduce your backlog, make those decisions. Either way, we can help in having this done. So, yeah, one of the items I'm focusing on today is the ability to be prepared for any situation on scene. As we all know, there are times when we need to adapt and overcome and have the ability to change it up. And also have the ability to gather as much as possible in a short amount of time. So the workflow on scene here, and then we'll get into the demo, and you'll actually see kind of how this plays out with the actual tool. But if you go on scene, you could bring out as many collection keys as you want. That's the USB device that has our tool on it. And you could boot to a powered off machine. You can boot to our key, 100% forensically sound, and see what's on that computer. A lot of times you go on scene and you're only able to do the live computers that are up if you need to make a decision. Here you have it all. So boot, powered off, live, and also mobile. But some of the workflow, you can go in and collect your RAM, right, on 2 computers, plug in your collection keys. You don't need a license here yet. Collect RAM, boot, and boot. So you have 2 live machines, 2 that are powered off. 2 live machines, I plug in the USB key or the collection key, collect RAM. The 2 that are powered on, I boot to those computers. Next step is I start scanning the one that I booted to. I insert my license, take my license back out, go to the next computer I booted to and start that scan. I put in the license, which starts it. I take the license back out so I can move on to my 3rd computer. So I have 2 computers now already scanning. They're already being done. Those are the ones that were powered off. Maybe they were the kids, the wives, the husbands. Doesn't matter where they were. Maybe it was the suspects. He had 3 computers in his room. But now I have that. I entered the license here. I've collected the RAM. I'm starting a scan. Take the license back out, move to my 4th computer, enter the license. Now I'm scanning 4 computers and I move on to my laptop or my desktop or the mobile van, whatever I might have brought out. I have what I call the desktop version, and I start backing up a couple of mobile devices. When I want to go scan them, I put in the license, start those scans, and then I can go back and start analyzing and deciding on what I need to do. So 4 computers scanning, 2 phones going all at the same time. It's kind of how it works. You can go into a business with 75 computers and do the same thing with 1 license. All right, demo time. So let me close this down and open Digital Evidence Investigator up. Again, thank you guys all for being here today. It's awesome. I know a lot of people are going through tough times. I know there's a lot out there to be done. So thanks for spending the time with me. We are now into our tool. So we're going to start here with Digital Evidence Investigator. This is our pro version. So what that means is we have added the mobile portion. So you can do phones as well. And let me just clean up my screen. There, that should be a better view for you guys. All right, Digital Evidence Investigator Pro, computers and mobile all in one tool. As an investigator, I am going to have with me also, and I'm going to drag this in here so hopefully you can see it. What I have here is my case folder, right? Used to start with a case folder, maybe it was a cyber tip. So I have my cyber tip files with me. So I have some images that were sent to me like Google or Tumblr, whatever. They sent me images. And as you could tell here, we're looking for dogs today. I have maybe some iPhone 6 images that were taken from another phone in this investigation. Maybe this is where it started. I have some off of a Pixel. Maybe I want to throw those into my case. I have some search profiles here. So the way this works is maybe I'm giving my information to my examiner. He's creating a profile. He can send it to me, and I can import these profiles into the tool on my desk. Great for task forces and affiliates that are working together. So maybe the person who's running the task force has digital evidence investigator, does all the customization. They send you these profiles here. You can import them into Triage Investigator and run it from your desktop, create your profiles or create your collection keys and go out into the field. No need to go to the main headquarters to have it all done. It could be done together. So I have my profiles, I have my images, I have my own hash sets, I have my own keywords that I want to run in this case. So getting ready to go on scene. I've done all my investigation. Man, I know how long that takes. You get your cyber tip, you start doing your subpoenas and your ex parte orders and your court orders and waiting for information and figuring out where the house is and doing your background on the house. Now it's search warrant time. I want to go out. I want to do a scan. I want to be prepared on scene. Couple different things we can do here. You can see scanning devices and images. This is my desktop tool. So anything attached to my computer, you can see I have a couple external drives. I can scan from here. I can add a folder that may have some evidence in it. I can point it towards another partition or mapped drive. Again, this is the desktop version. I can add a forensic image. So if I've already imaged something in-house in the lab, I want to do it. And here's where I can add my phone for backup or add a phone backup to be done. Anything attached to my computer, anything through a write blocker. And here, going to show you quick, not what we're about, but we do have, or not what we're about today. I do have a BitLocker encrypted drive here. And if you have the credentials, you'd be able to unlock that and scan it. Now, I talked earlier about same interface. So if I were on scene, you can see I just opened up this drive and now that's available to me to scan as well. If this was the target machine, and you'll see that later, I'm still going to have the access to do that. So quick, scan devices and images, desktop version. If you have a mobile van and you have this out with you, you'll be able to do scans in the van as well as in the house, right? So you have this set up side, you bring it out, hook up the drive. You have a Surface Pro, you have a Lenovo, you have something where it's hard to get the hard drive out of, you boot to it with our tool and do the scan. Prepare a collection key. That is what we're going to go over a little bit today. That is getting the USB device, the collection key, portable to take out onto scene and scan the drives. You can do imaging, reviewing scan results we'll get into. Setup scans is where I'm going to start here. So we have some profiles, different types of profiles that we give you to take out into the field. The default ones are called quick, intermediate, and comprehensive. Quick and intermediate target the user profiles only on the computer. So when you're going on scene to scan, those are your fastest scans. Target the user profiles. They run here like our quick child exploitation. That would be what you're, since this is an ICAC investigation, that's what you would want to do for like a low hanging fruit. I'm getting all the artifacts, web browsing, logins, user profiles, application usage, recent files, all the communications, email, messaging, and child exploitation keywords run very fast. We're going to show you some results on that today. We have mobile, intermediate, and comprehensive. Comprehensive is reserved for back in the lab. That's going to take a while, anywhere from an hour and a half, hour and a half up, depending on what's on the computer. But it's in everything from everywhere, really a full-blown scan and analysis of that tool. I have some custom ones in here. Here's keywords LHF. That's low-hanging fruit. I'm going to search external drives with this one just for keywords and file names only. So if they're saving all their stuff off to an external drive, it's got Lolita, Hussy Fan, PTHC, all those search terms that we're used to, it's going to pick up on that in seconds and give you a hit. And you say, yeah, this external drive is where he's saving all his stuff, take it. And it will also create thumbnails, and if you want, it can also collect the files with those that it finds. Like I said, we're all about getting the information and not having you do any post-scan analysis or any post-scan collection. We're all going to collect it for you if you want, but you can, everything will be done for you. You don't need to think about it after the scan's done. And then I have some custom ones here for all different situations when I go out in the field. We're going to play with these today: sprint factor, and pictures, and sprint factor with artifacts and images. Sprint factor, fast. It's faster than quick. All right. This is, I've added to it. You don't need to run all three of these on scene. You can pick one to run depending on the speed you want, depending on what you want. This is where I kind of show you that our tool can be what you want it to be and can do what you want it to do on scene. Sprint factor, in a minute, you know, on my heavily used work computer, will gather all the keyword hits, just like any of the other plug and play tools that are out there, right? They're, you know, they tout fast times. I've used some of those, not knocking anything that's free, but we do that, right? And you can have this after, if you guys want these profiles, I'll send them to you and you can import them into your tool. Enough talking about that, but sprint factor, faster than the quick, and we can build upon it to get you what you need. And these are just based on default things that we have in here to make it fast, and then you could bring out your customized profiles. So if I wanted to go out on scene, I have my case, and I have a cyber tip. I'm going to run really quick through how you can prepare with your information, because I showed you my case file. So I can go into new profile, or I can copy. Let's say I have an intermediate child exploitation. This automatically targets the user profile on the target computer. So it's not going to search Windows, it's not going to search program files, program data, anything that's outside of the user profiles. Typically what you're looking for is going to be inside the user profiles. But with some of the other scans, if you don't get something in your initial scan, we can move outside of that. So I can come in here and we have capture groups: application, child exploitation, communication. You can see all the different categories we have. I can go through here and say, what do I want to run and what do I not want to run? So these are all fine. Artifacts run really quick. Child exploitation, yeah, I want to run all that, but I'm going to bring in my own hashes. So I'm going to turn off this hash set. We give you a default, a set of 400,000 hashes that you can use if you don't have your own. If you do have your own, you could bring those in, and that's what I'm going to show you. Communication, your calls, emails, messaging, saved contacts, Skype, device data, right? Artifacts, anything with an icon is an artifact. Anything that does not have an icon is a file capture. It's looking for files. Collect database files. If you're looking for VMs, you can look for those in here as well. Documents. Reference files, I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to explain that to you when I bring something else in. Multimedia, user data, web browsing. So I am good with all this. That's going to run. Now I want to add my own stuff. When you learn how to do this, we have a lot of how-to videos, we have our user guide, and we have our support team. If you have any questions, you come to us. If you want to say, hey, how did I add hash values? I forgot how to do that. We have a how-to video for that. So I want to add some hash values. I showed you before. I'm going to put it in a category called hash sets, and I'm just going to put this in as today's webinar. And you're going to name it so you always know what it is, because once you bring the hash set in, you don't need to bring it in again. It's there for until you delete it. So today's webinar, and I'm going to go cyber tip. These are the images that were sent to me. So I pick that. I'm going to point it to that folder that I had, my case files, cyber tip files, and I'm going to select that folder. It notices that there's some files in there. I know they're child exploitation or child child abuse material. I can tag it, automatically bookmark it and tag it based on that, and I hit OK. It creates that hash list. There's those 16 files. Next, and this is going to be quick, I just need to tell the system what kind of files they are, how I want to identify those files. We have 3 different things: a file extension only. If it doesn't have a file extension, it does a header analysis, and then header analysis for everything on the system. For triage, it's 1 or 2. Those are going to be your fastest. Do I want to look inside of zip files and archives, and do I want to look in documents? This isn't really going to take you too much longer on a computer, so I check them, especially, we all know that the zip files and the RARs and stuff get downloaded, and sometimes they'll look at the pictures and leave them in there. So it's good to look in archives. Where do I want to look on the system? We were targeting here, so our second thing is targeting folders. I could come in here and target the user profiles. We already have it in here for you: users, documents, and settings. And now I'm looking for these hashes, pictures and videos. I'm going to identify anything by file extension. If it doesn't have a file extension, such as cache files, it's going to identify it. It's going to look in archives and documents. Files referenced by artifact records. I turned it off before because that's going to look for everything, even files that aren't child exploitation. By checking it here, I am now focused on just this hash set, and I'm saying if this file came in through peer-to-peer, messaging, email, has a recent file, came in through a download, or is in browser cache, it's going to link that file to that artifact for me in the background. So when it comes time to look at the picture, I can say, here's contraband. Oh, came through a download, came through a messaging, was sent on messaging, has a recent file, it was opened. I can make my decision here. Not only do I have contraband on scene, now I've tied it to the user. And all you guys are great investigators. We all know that when you do that interview on scene, he's going to say, yeah, that's my computer. I'm the only one who used it. So not only did you tie it to the user on the computer, you tied the suspect in your interview to be the user of that computer. We also do deleted. So I save that, and now that hash set is in my hash sets here. Today's webinar, cyber tip. It's there to turn on or turn off for any profile I create in the future. Same thing, I'm going to come in here and add another hash set, search for files by hash, put it in the hash set category, give it a name. I called it webinar today, cyber tip. And I could bring in my own CSV or text file. And you can see now I have 168 files in there, or I can import VIX data or CADE or whatever JSON file or whatever it is named. If you point it to that, it will import that. Okay, this is a little test one. It has 102 files, but it's also going to categorize it for you just like you expect. So in our tagging system, level 1, level 2, so if level 1 is your child abuse material, it's going to tag it as that. Level 2 is child exploitation material, it will tag it as that. 3 is CGI, anime, cartoon, it will tag it as that for you. So it is going to go through that tagging process automatically. I bring it in, same thing as last time. What is it? What am I looking for? You can see as you get used to doing this, it really is a one-step process, or a very quick process, I should say. And then I save it, and now that's in. Same thing for bringing in keywords. I'm going to rush through this fast because I really want you guys to start seeing results. I could put this in keywords. So webinar today, keyword, and then I could enter them one by one. I can enter in my keywords, or I could point it to a CSV or text list of keywords that I may have. I'm just going to come back in here and my unique keywords. So I have 5 keywords. Uniqueness is the thing for triage, right? We're not looking for everything. We want it to be unique. That keeps you from false positives and false negatives. This is where we really zoom in and eliminate that white noise, eliminate the noise, the stuff we don't want to see. We don't want to be going through 100 keyword hits or 1,000 keyword hits for Smith, right? When we can put in a Komoko, which may be his first name and is a lot more unique. Shard Lake, unique. Bulldog and Dalmatian, this is a dog investigation, if you will. So these would be unique in those cases. And then IP address, very unique. That's so unique that I asked it to automatically tag if it finds it. And then you could put comments. So 3 ways we search, and we're going to show this in one of our first sprint, file names and folder names. So when our tool first starts, it makes a listing of every file and folder that is on that device that you're scanning, and then it runs these keywords against it, right? File names and folder names. So if he has a file named PTHC, boy 12-year-old, girl 11-year-old, if they're sorted like that, you're going to find it here. File names of the the files, the images, it's going to look Lolita, LS Island, Fantasy Island, whatever it was called, it's going to find it with this. The next one is artifact records from other captures. So as it parses out all our artifacts, web browsing, downloads, user logins, VMs, any of the other artifacts, applications installed, it's going to run these keywords against those as well. So you'll start seeing a lot of your child exploitation keyword hits in web browsing. You'll start seeing where they were going, what they were doing, and it's all sorted out beautifully for you. And then how do I want to run these keywords? These are just regular. They're going to run substring, but we do regular expression. So if you're bringing in regular expression keywords, you just need to tell it here. And then I save this, and now I have my new keyword list. So pretty simple, bringing in hashes, bringing in keywords. Like I said, we have how-tos. We are available for one-on-one when you have the tool in front of you to show you how to do this. And we do have formalized training to get you through the whole process. So I didn't want this to be a training demo today, but I wanted to get into these sprint factors. So now that I've customized my profiles, I go to prepare collection key and I say, okay, I'm going out on scene. I want to bring out my 3 sprint factors. Sprint factor 1, just sprint factor, is fast. Sprint factor and pictures and user profile is fast. And I'm going to show you some times on here on this heavily used computer. And I can also show you times on a not so heavily used computer. So you can see this is really fast, and it will get you through no matter what. So we just add to it, and then we add artifacts and images, which takes a little longer, but it still gets you what you want on scene. This is without your customized information. I could bring out quick child exploitation. I could run that or the sprint factors against wife, children. I shouldn't specify wife. I should say spouse. And I should say siblings, parents, but whatever it is you're investigating, we know it could be any target in the house, but if you want to exclude stuff so you don't have to bring it back, you bring out a profile like this. And then I have my custom K9. So that's the one that I bring in my Project Vic hashes, my CyberTip hashes, and my unique keywords. So when I do find with my sprint, in a minute, I find this computer has all these hits on it, but I'm going to take that computer, I'm going to interview my suspect, but let me run my custom one now, which is going to take a little longer. But when I go back to the office, I could sit at my desk and start doing my preservation orders, further search warrants, further arrest warrants, if I don't arrest them today, or I can up my charges. The thing is, I could find a picture and charge them with, back where I was, it was possessing of child pornography in the 3rd degree. If I find 49 more pictures, now it's 1st degree. So putting this all together, making your decisions on scene, seeing how simple it is. So I would select all these. I would plug in the USB device that I want to use. You can see I have USB devices connected to the computer already, but now I added the one that I want to prepare. One, lets me know exactly which one I'm writing to. You know, a lot of us know, be careful, make sure you check your volume names. Don't write to something that you don't want to write to. So either unplug everything else and only have the one you want to prepare, or plug it in when you're sitting in the screen and you can see it show up. So it's going to take these profiles, make this key bootable, put everything onto there. I would hit prepare, and within a couple of minutes, that key is ready to go. If I'm going out and want multiple keys with this on it, so I can scan all those computers at the same time, I can add all of those and prepare them at the same time as well. Second choice I have is to set up a profile or set up a search key without search profiles on it. And what it's going to do is give me all the captures that I can run on scene. So let's say something changes. I have my search profiles and I'm like, all right, I have all this, but then all of a sudden, and I'm just going to throw this is, you know, probably wouldn't happen, but all of a sudden now it's a missing person case, or you have a missing person case and you go, well, let me see what the internet history is on that computer over there. I can take this, go over and just run the web browsing history on that computer. Or I come in and I have different legal parameters that I have to do on scene. I can't run profiles, but I can start by getting computer information. This would be the key that does that. I could go in and say, okay, give me the basic computer information, and then I can build on that as I'm on scene. Law says I can, okay, now that I have this, I can look here. Now that I have that, I can look there. You'll see in a couple minutes what I mean. So I prepare these keys, and now it's out to the field. What I am going to do is close down the desktop version. And if you will travel with me to the suspect machine. So I'm at the suspect machine. I plug in my collection key that I just prepared, CKY. It's an external USB device. If you buy the tool, it's a Samsung T5 SSD drive. So I go here, very simple to run on scene. It says start. It's a batch file. I click on start. This is for a live machine. So the system is up and running. I plug it in. I hit start. Just like any other tool out there, and this isn't even the tool part of it yet, this is Windows. When you plug a USB device into the computer, Windows makes changes. When you execute a program, Windows makes changes. Now we are up and running. ADF will not make any other changes to this live system. No dates, times are changed. No metadata is changed. It will go right into we can go right into doing what we need to do here. Of course, the first thing you want to do is volatile data, collect that RAM dump. You just click on this and it's going to collect the RAM for you onto that collection key. When that's done, we go into scan computer, and it opens up here. And just like I was showing you on the desktop version, remember I was saying we have that unity between tools. So I showed you desktop, now I'm showing you live. It looks exactly the same. This is everything attached to the computer that I can scan. Here's that BitLocker device, right? So I can scan that if I want. I'm gonna pick the C drive here, or actually I'm going to go, just to show you how it works, I'm gonna pull this little K9 partition here, and I'm gonna use sprint factor. I'm gonna show you the one that I ran earlier, but I'm going to run the sprint factor against this profile. I'm going to call it sprint factor 1. File names, folder names against everything on this partition, and it's going to auto tag as it scans it. I was explaining before, I'm on scene. I need to put in my license to start a scan, and I'm going to plug in my license, and you're going to see it pop up here. And the scan's going to start in the background. Scan starting, I can now pull my license out. So now I can go to another machine with that license and another collection key. Now, I plugged that in, the scan started, I have an anti-forensic hit, I have child exploitation hits, I have cloud storage hits, I have crypto hits, I have peer-to-peer hits, I have remote access hits. Wow. Right? So The first thing our tool does is it makes a listing of every file name and folder name that's on that computer. It runs the keywords against that list as soon as that is done. What I also added to this was it collected any of the files that were child exploitations. So now I don't need to, okay, I collected that. Let me go into view results. I'm on scene. I've done this. I can now go in and view my results. And I'm going to go right to my tagged area. Child exploitation was tagged as level 1. And you can see there's the keywords that they hit on, and there's the pictures. Again, I said at the beginning, this is a dog investigation. So I have found 25 images on keywords, and it also collected those images for me. So there's no need for me now to sit and say, hey, can I go back and get that? Right? It's already here. It's already on my key and ready to go. I've collected it, I've made thumbnails, and I've built a report in the background already. So that was on scene. Let me go back up to summary just to show you. That was a typical user partition, not heavily used, but a user partition from a Windows operating system. And that took 28 seconds, okay? Kind of hoping that's all making sense for you. It automatically tagged these hits, it automatically collected anything it hit on, and it automatically shows you. I can go to my pictures gallery, and here is the pictures here. I can go to my video gallery. If it hit on any videos with child exploitation names, those are in here as well. What do? We're still on the suspect machine here, and I'm able to analyze. All right, now we're not going to play that video on the suspect machine, but I can go through here and look at all the frames very easily and see what was in that. Okay. First frame, last frame, 48 frames from in between, and you'll get a pretty good idea of what's in there and whether it is your child exploitation or not. How close am I? How much closer am I to a decision now based on that sprint profile, right? 28 seconds. Plugged in the key, started it. It took 28 seconds to run. Now I say, oh yeah, this computer's got the stuff on it. If I have time, it's also classifying images in the background. I could turn that off. Now I can say, all right, I did a pretty good scan there. Let me come in. I'm going to scan that same partition, but this time I'm going to use my custom one that has my Project Vic in it, that has my custom keywords in it, that has my other hashes in it from the cyber tip, right? I could run that on scene as well. I hope everybody kind of gets an idea of what I'm looking at here. I have the ability to scan anything attached to the machine. If I booted to it, this screen looks exactly the same, except you don't have RAM dump because there wouldn't be any volatile data. I can still go in, boot to the computer, Windows, Mac, Linux, doesn't matter what it is, you could boot to it. You'll see anything attached to it and any of the partitions there. And then I could pick my search profiles, my sprint factor built up on, my quick. I could be running these all at the same time on different computers. And something else comes up on scene, I can add keywords. So a new keyword comes up, you learn of something, you could run new keywords with any of these as well. Let me shut this down here for a second. Let me plug in the other key that I made. So now something else comes up on scene and you're like, crap, I don't have that profile or a profile that's gonna work. Maybe it's a fraud, or like I was saying before, maybe you're only limited you can only build upon what you're looking at. So I'm going to start this profile. And I go into scan computer. And anything attached to the computer, you'll notice it's a different collection key. It's set up a little different, but it's the same view. There's no learning curve except for right here. Now, instead of profiles, I have my captures. As I was saying before, I could come in here and say, you know, I just want my browsing history, or I want my browsing history and maybe some of these keyword searches, or maybe I want apps and calls and emails, especially if I'm doing mobile. well, mobile you wouldn't be able to do from this key. Sorry, I misspoke. But you would be able to do that from your desktop version. But I could pick and choose any of these that I want to run. And if it's just one, pick it, run it. So I have the choice here to add what I want to add. Hope that makes sense. Can't really see everybody nodding. What I'm going to do here now is go back, and we're going to show you some of these results. And hopefully it all makes sense. So as this is starting up, I have my cyber tip. I bring in my pictures, my hashes. I bring in my keywords. I bring in Project Vic if I need to, and I set up my collection key because I'm going on and seeing with all these profiles that I could choose from. So each computer I go to, I can pick and choose which one I want to run and really make it for me. I could run Sprint first. Within a minute, I can have my information say, yes, this is his computer. I want to run the custom one against this. Or no, this isn't his computer. This is a spouse's computer. Let me run this other profile on it. See how that's kind of working now? You could pick and choose what you want to do instead of be limited to one-dimensional type scans. So let me go into review scan results. And you can see here I have all my scan results that I've ever done in here. Here's the sprint factor 1 from this morning. Let me start this up. So I showed you sprint factor against that little demo user partition. It took 28 seconds to run. Here's one, it took 1 minute and 3 seconds. It's a 250 gig drive. It is a Dell XPS 13, and it is loaded. It's got a lot of files on it. And just to show you, if I go to my files view, we give you a listing of every file and folder that's on that computer. So here there's 733,998 files. I could see it up here in top and records that it scanned. Let me go back up to summary here. 1 minute and 3 seconds, almost 800,000 files, and it went through and found them. Again, child exploitation. I can click on that. It shows me the keywords, so I can hit each keyword and see which ones were caught. Or I can go to my tagged area for level 1 and see all the images that were caught up. Or I can go to my pictures view and see all the pictures that were collected as well. So out of here, there is, I have this filtered, pictures, videos. So this was just keyword hits, didn't do anything else. 1 minute and 3 seconds. I believe this is a computer. I'm going to go do another scan. So I did sprint factor 2 here, and I added image collection from the user profile only. So it didn't collect, it located and it created a thumbnail for all the images in the user profile. So it's pictures in the user profile, no collection, 40,699 images plus the keyword factor. And that took me 7 minutes. So now I've done my sprint factor. It took 1 minute. I did this one to see all the pictures that are in here. I could come into my pictures and see everything that was collected, and I can scroll through all my files and look at what was there. So in 7 minutes, now I have more. Let me go back and go to sprint factor. I think I called it 3. So this was artifacts, files from the user profile, and the sprint factor original scan. And I'm going to load this up here. And you can see now I have a lot more hits because I ran keywords a little bit differently, a little against all the artifacts that were collected. So I still have all those keyword hits I've shown. I still have the 40,000 pictures from the user profiles. It took 11 minutes to run it, but now I have all this other information, browsing history, Right, so if I go into my browsing history, I can see keyword hits in here. I can go to my filter and hit matches, right, and say just show me the browsing history that has keyword hits in it. And now I can see all my keyword hits. Now I know my child exploitation was level 1. I could further filter that. And we're talking minutes here, right? So now here's all my child exploitation keyword hits. Underage, child porn. So you can see Lolita, PTHC, all that stuff is in there. It only took 11 minutes. So a minute to determine that's his computer, 11 minutes to run this. But now let me go back one more time, and I'm going to show you the custom canine that I ran. And this was against so this was a live scan of that other partition. And this is the one that has my CyberTip keywords in it. And you can see how it breaks down my unique keywords for me. That Shard Lake was somebody that is talking to or trading with the user of this computer. And I can see their saved contacts, messaging, emails, calls, and browser cache for this name, Shard Lake. So just by looking at this, I can see that we have some kind of connection between the two. Bulldog, I can see it's been searched for. I can see it's been downloaded. That was a victim's name. Dalmatian, same thing, searched for, downloaded. And Komoko is the user. So it brings me to messaging, download history. So you can see all the information that I've gathered that allows me to continue my investigation. So that would run about the same as the Sprint Factor 3. My custom one would be probably around 10 or 12 minutes on that 250 gig drive. But now you can see I've come in here and these are my hashes that I ran. So I'm going directly to my hash hits on here. Here's my Project Vic, hash that I ran, automatically categorized them and has all the images. Let me go up to pictures and show you. If you recall, I talked about referenced files. So I have the picture of this bulldog here, and he's contraband. I can come down to my properties and see that the path he's in is a user-created path. I can look at my linked artifacts. These are the referenced files. It shows that this picture came in through download, and there's 3 recent file entries for it. So I know it's been opened. It's either a link, an MRU from the registry, or maybe a jump list file. But I can see that it's been opened. Saved in user profile, downloaded from the internet, recent files. I can also take it to that timeline. If you recall the timeline I talked about, links everything together. You can see here's the picture, here's the name of it, here's where the download completed, if I scroll up a little bit, here's where the download started, and this is the website he went to go get it, right? So in order on a timeline, and I can go up and down and see, okay, here's another picture. Was that one of the ones that was downloaded? Yes, it was. There it is, downloaded. See it all in the timeline. Filter, build up on your case, base it on activity. However you want, you could create multiple timelines for what your case is. Again, videos. I am now on my computer with this. So again, I can look through the frames, and if I see something, I can preview in here as well. So I can go through and say, okay, not only did I see the frames, but I can start, stop, and scrub through it if necessary. So hopefully this kind of all made sense to you. You can create these. I am going to share these with anybody who wants them. The sprint factors, the sprint profiles, they're customized. All I do is send them to you through email, or we'll have them in a download place for you to get. You download them, import them into your tool, and that's as easy as going to setup scans, import profile, and you are going to download them to your computer. I'm going to go where I save them here, not Pixel. profiles. So you can see here, there's my sprint factor. I would click on that, hit open, and it would import it into my library. And then you can use it. You can put it on a collection key. You can do all that. All right, with that, I've talked a lot. I can keep going on this tool. There's a lot to do. I'm gonna start looking here at some of the questions. So one of the ones I have here is, am I available to provide a copy of the keywords you use on cases? Yeah, so in here, if you go to set up scans, there's no secret to what we're using. If you go to child exploitation and you go to the keywords that we use, so I'm gonna go keyword here and copy it. And there's a list, and these are all in regular expression. There is that keyword list for you in the keywords that we use. Okay, so here's another one. In case of live system acquisition, after completing acquisition, if we run acquired videos or opening file photographs on the target machine itself, will it leave any traces on the machine? Will metadata of the acquired files change or not? So in a live system, when you're doing this scan and we're viewing stuff, it is not, everything is running from the USB device. We are not using anything on the system. We will not play the video live on scene. You'll have to take that to another computer to play it, but you will see the thumbnail. Sorry. And another question, can we have these profiles? Absolutely. I am willing to share this. How do you get them? Let me bring up my PowerPoint here and put that back on for you guys to see. Oh. Well, that didn't work out well. Hold on one second here, guys. This changed everything. All right. I will get this up here in 1 second. Okay. So, support options. If you need support, ADF Solutions /learn for the videos, help@adfsolutions.com, support at adfsolutions.com, and you can call option 3 for support. We have our tools, mobile device investigator. You could, for field investigations, that is the separate mobile device. Any of the pro versions, it's our tools, DEI, triage investigator, TG2, and bundled with MDI. I have that here. Let me see if I can add right here. And I am going to give you, for right now, we are going to put these up on our site, but since I offered them here today, it is rfrawley@adfsolutions.com. And there you go. So if you would like a copy of those profiles, have any questions, again, if it's support, I prefer you go through the support line or the support email. But if you are looking for, you have another question related to the webinar and not specific tool help, yeah, give me an email. I'll get those profiles out to you and we can do that. Do that quick for you. So that's it for me today. I want to thank everybody for coming. Again, a little fast, but a lot of information. Hopefully you got some information out of this. Thank you and have a great day.